What's going on, guys? It's Adolfo Berlin and I flip cars for a living, and in this video I'm going to show you guys how you guys can get your dealer's license completely for free. I don't believe that you should jump into the auction right away. I personally believe that you should flip your first 5 cars privately and allow your first 5 flips to fund your dealer's license. And the most important things that you're going to gain within these first 5 flips are going to be experience. You're going to be able to build capital, and most importantly, you're going to be able to learn your market. A lot of people think that if you just jump into the auction, you're going to get a bunch of great cars. You might, possibly, but you also might buy a lot of bad cars that don't really sell well in your market. And the only way to learn this is by either brokering cars or by flipping your first 5 cars privately and learning your market to see which cars sell the quickest. So I don't want to waste any time. I want to get right into this video, and I'm going to give you guys the full blueprint you need in order to flip your first 5 cars, and most importantly, how to get your dealer's license for free. Now, if you're somebody who has no money right now, go ahead and watch my last video where I show you guys how you guys can broker a car, where you guys are going to be able to build up your capital in order to flip your first car. But if you're somebody who has anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 saved up right now, this video is for you. And do not skip the video because there's going to be a lot of golden nuggets in this video. So yeah, let's jump right into it. So this is how you're going to be able to get your dealer's license completely for free within 10 weeks. Now, this is exactly what I think anybody who's a complete beginner in this business should do. So like that, you don't waste money and waste time buying bad cars at the auction, and then you end up realizing 2 or 3 months later you didn't make any money because you still have the cars. Now, if there's anybody who's already bought a car either from the auction or the private market, you've probably realized 1 or 2 things. Either the car sold really fast, or you're probably still trying to sell the car today. If you're the second person, you probably just bought the wrong car. And this is why it's so important to learn your market before you start buying and selling a bunch of cars that aren't going to sell. So this is how you're going to turn your $2,000 into a full-blown business in less than 10 weeks. Let's jump right into it. So this is why buying and selling cars work in today's world. We are in an economy where a lot of people are really tight on money, especially over the past 2 years. So if you guys have been looking at the used car market, the used car market has been growing. There's more people getting out of their leases and just buying cars in cash. So there's a lot of demand right now for cars under $10,000. And if you're in a position where you can buy cars under $10,000, you are making a lot of money right now. And most importantly, not only is there a lot of demand for these cars, but there's also a lot of people who are just looking to get rid of their cars. And that's where we capitalize. If you're somebody who knows how to get people to reach out to you to sell you cars, you can make a killing off these cars, because 9 out of 10 times people are either looking for 2 things: convenience or money. And as you guys know, in business, you get paid based off how well you can solve somebody's problem. And that's why it's so important to not only learn your market, but learn how to get these cars. And with that being said, you guys are probably wondering, how do I find these cars? And the cars are already on the marketplace. If you guys check on Facebook Marketplace, on OfferUp and Craigslist, you will see a bunch of cars listed. Now, I would say 9 out of 10 of those cars are cars that you shouldn't even look at to buy because they're overpriced. But if you guys have a way to be able to see these cars or see the good deals the moment they're posted on these marketplaces, you can capitalize. And that's exactly what I'm going to show you guys how to do. If you guys download an app called Swoopa, which I'm going to leave the link down below. If you guys download an app called Swoopa, they offer a 14-day free trial. With Swoopa, you're going to be able to go ahead and see cars the moment they hit marketplace. So you guys want to go ahead and download Swoopa so that you guys can start seeing these cars. Now, personally, I buy a lot of cars off the private market just because I'm good at negotiating sales. So it's a lot easier for me to negotiate with somebody and beat them down on the price than what it is for me to compete with 15 other dealers at the auction, because they all know what we can sell a car for in our market. So it gets pretty competitive in it. So this is going to be your game plan in order to flip these first 5 cars. We want to focus on the private market mainly because you don't have your dealer's license yet. So that's going to be the easiest place to find cars. It's going to be in a private market. As I just mentioned, Marketplace, Craigslist, and OfferUp are going to be a great place to start. Now, if you guys know how to run paid ads, you guys can have paid ads to have people reaching out to you like I did in order to get the Ford that I made a video about. Your target price range as far as what you want to buy these cars for are going to be anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000. Now, this is key because if you overpay for a car, let's say you pay $8,000 or $9,000 for a car, most times cars over $10,000 take a lot longer to sell. And part of the reason it's taking long to sell is because most buyers don't have $10,000 in cash to buy a $10,000 car. Now, these are the cars that you want to buy in order to make sure that you're going to make as much money as possible while flipping your cars. And most importantly, importantly, that you're not going to waste 3 months trying to sell one car, because that's the worst thing that could happen in this business. You want to stick to Hondas, Acura's, Infinitis, Toyotas, Lexuses, and any car that might be in demand in your market. What I recommend for you to do is go on ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT, what are the 5 fastest selling cars in my market? And you guys want to stick to those 5 cars. Just because those cars already have a strong reputation, and most importantly, there's already people in your market looking for those cars. All we have to do is get those cars and just supply the market with what they're already looking for. These are going to be what I like to call my bread and butter flips. Essentially, cars that I know that I can just get any day throughout the week and I can sell extremely fast within a couple days. Every time that I step outside of these bread and butter flips, I always end up spending more time trying to flip a car, and a car takes longer to sell, mainly because there's not as many people looking for that specific car, which is a hard lesson that I had to learn, and hopefully it helps somebody else so you guys don't go through the same thing I had to go through as far as waiting 2 or 3 months for one car to sell, because it happens, especially if you get started and you're misinformed. You can easily have your capital locked into this car for a long period of time, especially if you buy the wrong car, and especially if you overpay for this car. So this is what your roadmap is going to look like in order to flip your first 5 cars. The first thing that you want to do is go ahead and buy your first car. Buy a reliable model. I would stick to Hondas, Toyotas, and Acuras because those cars already have really good reputations and they are going to sell really fast. The second thing that you want to do is you want to clean the car and fix any minor repairs. Now, if the car needs any major work, don't buy the car. For your first 5 flips, you want to make sure that there is very minimal work that has to be done to these cars. So like that, you're not waiting a month or a month and a half for a mechanic to fix your car, because that's the worst thing that can happen in this business. So we want to make sure that whatever has to be changed is small and it's nothing major. Now, once your car is fixed up and cleaned up, you want to go ahead and list your car. And on average, if your Facebook page is optimized, you will take anywhere from 7 to 14 days to flip your car. Normally for me, I sell my cars within 7 to 10 days, but that's because my Facebook page is fully optimized and I have a lot of reviews. So Facebook will naturally boost my post for me, and I will get a lot more eyeballs than a traditional seller on the marketplace. The fourth thing that you want to do is you essentially want to reinvest all of your profits. So if you're starting off at $5,000 and you flip a car and you make $1,500 in a week, you want to go ahead and take that $6,500 and maybe buy 2 cars for $3,200 and just go from there, right? And continue to reinvest all of your profits into the next car. And you want to continue to repeat this process 4 more times. Now, let's say that you start to feel comfortable, or you're somebody who's a little bit more mechanically inclined, you can do some work yourself. I would recommend to buy 1 or 2 cars at a time. Don't buy more than 2 cars, just so you don't over leverage yourself. The most important thing that you want to do with these first 5 flips is build out your systems, build out your foundation, build out your team of mechanics. Just like that, once you get auction access and you have the ability to buy cars from the auction, if you want to buy 4 or 5 cars at a time, you can handle the capacity and you're not overworked, you're not overloaded of cars that you cannot handle. So within your first 5 flips, you should be able to generate anywhere from $5,000 to $20,000 in profit, depending how much you're making on each car. Now, it will take you anywhere from 2 to 3 months to flip your first 5 cars. If you are somebody who has no experience in the auto industry, now if you're somebody who already has some experience buying and selling cars, you work for a dealer, maybe you know somebody else who flips cars, you might be able to flip your first 5 cars a lot faster than that, maybe within a month and a half, if you do have some more experience. Now, I want to give you guys a pro tip for when you're flipping your first 5 cars. Speed is going to beat everything else, right? You want to be fast. You want to make sure that you go look at these cars as quick as possible. You want to make sure that you get these cars ready as fast as possible. That means that a car doesn't have to be perfect. The best part about buying and selling used cars under $10,000 is people don't expect to go look at a perfect car. As long as your car doesn't have any major issues, your goal is going to be to turn over your cars as fast as humanly possible and to build up as much cash as you can within this time period. That is your only goal. Your goal isn't to sell a perfect car and to make sure the car is in perfect condition. I know there's a lot of people who do DIYs. My goal is to teach you guys how to make money so that you guys can reach out to me to get your dealer's license. I'm not here to show you guys how to flip a car and have the car look pristine after it's done being flipped. As you guys can see in some of my old videos, a lot of the cars that I flip are not pristine at all, but we still make great money in a short period of time. And that's what I'm here to show you guys how to do, is how to make money in this business and not just do this for fun. If you guys want to flip cars for fun, there's a lot of people who can show you how to flip cars and DIY cars. You guys to spend 3 months flipping one car. I like to have my cars in and out within a week and a half. Anything longer than that, then I'm losing money. Yeah, I'm here to teach you guys how to make money, not just flip cars for fun. There's a lot of people who can show you how to do that if you guys want to go ahead and check them out, but that's not what I'm here for. Now, if that being said, if you are somebody that wants to flip your first 5 cars, you're nervous, you're not sure how you should start off in this business, feel free to book a free 15-minute call where I can answer any of your questions and I can show you how you guys can get started in this process. So yeah, just click the link down below to book your free call and I'll talk to you then. Now, this is why I recommend to start on the private market. First of all, it's low barrier to entry. You don't have to have a dealer's license to start flipping cars on the private market. And most importantly, most states allow you to flip your first 5 cars under your name. So like that, you won't have to run into any issues legally about you flipping cars with open titles or anything like that. You will be able to legally flip your first 5 cars under your name. This is perfect because we can capitalize on this law, which allows us to build up that initial capital to go ahead and acquire our dealer's license, which is great because you're pretty much taking your $2,000 to $20,000 or to $10,000, and then you're using your profits to reinvest into your dealer's license instead of just having to go out of pocket and spend $5 or $6 or $7,000 on a dealer's license before you made any money. We're just using the money that we already made to acquire our license. On top of that, in my personal experience, you have way higher profit margins whenever you buy and sell cars under $10K from the private market. I know there's a lot of people online that spew information about, oh, I made $5,000 or $6,000 flipping a car on auction. I want you guys to just understand this so you guys can understand how the auction works. The auction is a dealer only auction. That means you have a bunch of people who are also informed on the market that know how much cars should sell for. Most times cars are not going under the radar for most of these dealers. There's dealers who are bidding online, there's dealers who are bidding physically in person. So there's a lot of people who are looking at the same car you're looking at that also know the same information you know. So most times, a lot of these cars get bidded up to the point where you can only make maybe $1,500 after fees. This is why I personally believe it makes more sense for you to get started flipping your first 5 cars in the private market. You might realize after you have your dealer's license that, hey, I want to just continue to flip cars on the private market because they turn over faster and I make more money. Now, once you guys have flipped your first 5 cars and it's time for you to get your dealer's license, this is when it's going to be time to transition, and this is when you have to reach out to me. My goal with these videos are to build your trust. You can trust me enough and I can help you make some money so you can reach out to me once it's time for you to transition to go ahead and get your dealer's license and it's time for you to go ahead and scale your actual dealership. And by the way, when you acquire your dealer's license, it's going to be 100% funded from your profits. I only want people to reach out to me who have some sort of experience just because I want you guys to make money. I don't want to just throw you guys into the deep end of the water and just say, hey, swim and figure it out. I want to help you guys get to this point where you guys know how to flip cars privately. You guys know how to check cars on the private market. So once you go into the auction, you don't have questions about like, hey, how do I check a car? Hey, how do I do this? You have all that stuff established. You're just pretty much transitioning into the auction. You just have a new way to get cars. Now, the typical cost to get your dealer's license is going to be anywhere from $5,000 to $25,000 depending how you do it. If you reach out to me, it'll be on the lower end. But if you decide to do it yourself, you can spend a lot more money just because you will have to get an office space or get a physical lot, which is not going to be cheap to do. And you might also mess up throughout the process and fill out the wrong paperwork and not do what the state requires in order for you to qualify to get your dealer's license. So in order to avoid that, you can just reach out to me so I can help you throughout the process. And I can guarantee that you'll get your dealer's license within 2.5 months instead of having to wait 4 to 6 months like a lot of other people that I know and I personally did to get my dealer's license. Now I'm going to give you guys some opportunities and pitfalls when it comes to flipping cars, and this is something that most people don't talk about, and this is the most important part of the video because this is where you're going to be able to learn what to do and what not to do. The profit opportunities are going to be in underserved budget markets. That essentially means that you're looking for cars that are reliable, that people are currently looking for, that aren't going to give them many issues. So like Hondas, Toyotas, and Acura's are going to be the best cars to buy and sell, and they're also going to sell pretty quick since there's a niche group of people looking for those specific cars. And by niche, I mean a lot of people looking for those specific type of cars. So if you have them on the market, they will sell fast. The second opportunity is going to be low marketing costs. So you don't have to spend any money at all to go ahead and market your cars and post them on the marketplace. It's free. Unless you're posting cars on Craigslist, which is still really cheap in comparison to using other stuff like Carfax, which can be really expensive if you are a dealer. Lastly is going to be the scaling opportunity once you have your dealer's license. All we're doing with these first 5 flips is setting your initial foundation. So once you have your dealer's license, you can take off to the moon and scale to $100,000, $150,000, $200,000 a year with flipping cars. Your goal with these first 5 flips is just to learn and to build capital so you can get access to your dealer's license as soon as possible. The second thing is going to be having inventory for too long. The amount of people that I see that get into this business, that hold on to cars for 2 months or 3 months because they're stuck on getting one price. It blows my mind. Your goal in this business is to continue to have your money moving, which means if you buy a car for $4,000 and you expect to sell it for $6,500, if your car isn't moving at $6,500, lower your price to $5,500. Even if you have to lower your price to $5,000, it's okay because you're just looking to get your quick profit and get in and out of the car really quickly. It doesn't take more than 1 or 2 days to know if you're overpriced. If you're not getting any messages or your messages, or if the people that are texting you are not replying back, typically that means that you're overpriced and you don't have a no-brainer deal. In this business, you make your money on when you buy the car, and if you buy the car at the right price, it's impossible to lose money because you know what you can sell it for, right? So if I buy a car that I know that is worth $6,500 for $500 and I have to put $1,000 into it, I have $5,000 of potential profits. Now, the difference between a hobbyist and a professional isn't knowledge, it's taking consistent strategic action. A lot of people miss that last part. Consistent strategic action. If you guys are just blindly buying cars, you're gonna lose money, right? I'm not special, I'm not any better than you. I just simply know what cars to buy in my market, which cars sell the quickest, and this information did not come overnight, but I hope that this definitely helps somebody else not lose money in this business. And if you have any questions, drop your questions down in the comment section. If you guys found this video valuable in any way, please subscribe. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. Go ahead and share your progress. If you're already buying and selling cars, let us know down in the comment section where you're currently at in your car flipping journey. If you're somebody who has a full-blown dealership, or if you're somebody who's still looking to get into their first car. And I'll catch you guys in the next video.